This video went viral last year. I was looking for my lemon cake recipe yesterday here on YouTube because no baker remembers their own recipe. Then I realized I never really posted that video here. So instead of reposting an old video, I thought why not recreate this Starbucks level lemon cake at a cheaper price with some amazing tips and tricks that will help you nail that texture and flavor with my more evolved recipe. Let's get started. Tip number 1 is how we grease the cake pan. Here I am using a Bundt pan because it gives a beautiful shape to the cake, but you can also use a loaf pan. It is very important that we grease this Bundt pan properly because it has these grooves and edges. So instead of using oil, we are using butter, room temperature butter, because it just helps in getting the cake out easier. So generously grease each and every groove of this Bundt pan with room temperature butter. Make sure it's room temperature. Melted butter is not going to have the same effect. Make sure to do this step before we start actual cake preparation because it's the kind of batter that needs to go in the oven almost immediately. And now we'll just sprinkle some all-purpose flour in this. This is like an extra step to make sure that the cake does come out in one piece and very easily. Tip number 2 is to zest your lemons properly. This might seem like a very small tip, but it's actually a very important one where the lemon flavor is concerned. The lemon juice is not exactly going to give you a lot of flavor. The most flavor is going to come from the lemon zest. And how we zest the lemon is where the trick is. We only need the yellow part of the lemon. You take the lemon and you go over it, turn it, and then go over it. And you need to see where the white part is appearing. You need to skip that part and then go over the yellow only. If you get the white part of the zest, your cake will become bitter. So it is important that you zest it properly and slowly. The next part of the tip is how we extract the most flavor out of the lemon zest. Here I have 165 grams of castor sugar. Try not to use powdered sugar. So we are adding about 4 lemons worth of lemon zest in this. Go ahead and start rubbing castor sugar with the lemon zest. This will help in extracting the oils from the lemon zest and really amp up the lemon flavor of the cake. And for the cake we need 90 grams of lemon juice, so we are going to cut and squeeze 6 lemons. आत्ताच मधात यायचंय का? It fell down. Oh no. Sad. So where I got these lemons from? The supermarket. 100 ml of whole milk. Add 90 ml of our lemon juice to it. This will curdle the milk. Set that aside for 5 minutes. So here I have 300 grams of all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder, half teaspoon of baking soda, and mix this well. To this lemon and sugar mixture, add 100 grams of curd, 150 milliliters of neutral oil, like whisk together till a homogeneous mixture forms. We'll add the curdled milk, lemon extract, half teaspoon of vanilla extract. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Tip number 3 is the temperature of your oven. Here I am using a Bundt pan which is dark in color. What basic science teaches us is that the darker the color, the more heat it will absorb. If you are using a dark colored pan like this, the temperature you are going to set your oven to is 150 degrees Celsius. It would also cook a lot quicker than if you are using a silver or an aluminium pan. And just in case you are not using this kind of pan but the aluminum or the German one, you're going to set the oven temperature to 170 degrees Celsius and the cook time will also slightly increase. Final step is to add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients in 2 batches. Make sure you add the dry ingredient to the wet ones and not the wet to the dry. Now add the remaining ingredients, mixing gently until there is no dry ingredients remaining. Make sure you scrape from the bottom of the bowl as well because that is where most of the dry ingredients get stuck. Add it in batches. Try to level it a little bit using the spatula. So the cake is now in the oven at 150 degrees Celsius. It needs to go in for 35 minutes, but I will check at the 25-minute mark to see how much of the cake is done. Do not keep opening the door of the oven to check if it's done or not, at least for the first 25 minutes. If you want to learn the basics, the ABCs of baking, I have a quick video where you can learn all about ovens, its temperatures, and the different rods, and how different baking equipment can be used according to different recipes. So it is linked right here or definitely in the description. The cake is now out of the oven and has been resting for at least 25 minutes. It required exactly 25 minutes in the oven. And then I inserted a toothpick in the center and it came out clean. Even if it has a few small crumbs, that's okay, because as the cake cools down, it will keep cooking. It is important that you let the cake rest and cool for at least 25 to 30 minutes. Do not try to unmold it immediately. The cake will get stuck to these curves and not come out. And now we will try to unmold the cake. Take a grill or a wire rack of some kind, then turn it, and as you are about to keep it on the surface, do a small tap that will help in releasing the cake. Haha, the cake is out and it looks really good. It's so lemony, yet so decadent and soft. The recipe for the simple glaze is available in the description. There you go. A super lemony lemon cake that is so much better than Starbucks, and it's inexpensive and eggless. If you guys like this recipe, press that like button, press that subscribe button. Bye. I can't stop eating it.